Shocking and tragic news rocked Ghana yesterday as a military helicopter carrying some of the nation's most prominent leaders fell from the skies and burst into flames, killing all 8 souls on board. Among the victims were 2 sitting ministers, Dr. Edward Omane Boamah, Minister of Defense, and Doctor Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, Minister of Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation. Also killed in the crash were 3 high-ranking state officials: Alhaji Mohammed Muniru Limuna, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator; Samuel Sarpong, former Central Regional Minister; and Samuel Aboagye, a former parliamentary candidate. The 3 crew members, Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Malin Twum-Ampadu, and Sergeant Ernest Addo Mensah, also tragically perished. What was supposed to be a routine flight to a state event in Obuasi to combat illegal mining became a catastrophe that turned an ordinary Wednesday into one of the darkest chapters in Ghana's political history. The nation is in mourning, and understandably so, but what has made this moment even more chilling, more unsettling, and more conversation-worthy across the continent is the haunting revelation that President John Dramani Mahama himself could have been on that doomed flight. Yes, Ghana's newly elected president narrowly escaped death by what some are already calling a twist of fate. Or was it something more? President Mahama was originally scheduled to attend the launch of the Responsible Cooperative Mining and Skills Development Program, a flagship initiative aimed at tackling the country's deeply entrenched problem of illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey. His name and face were already plastered across flyers and official promotional material. Anticipation for his presence was high. After all, this was not just any program. It was one designed to cement his administration's policy direction and bring legitimacy to the responsible mining agenda. So how did he not end up boarding that flight? Well, as fate or divine intervention, some are now saying, would have it, President Mahama was also invited to be the special guest of honor at the First National Pastors and Spouses Prayer Retreat at the Pentecost Convention Center in the Central Region. With the 2 high-profile events clashing on the same day, the president made a decision. He would attend the religious retreat and send 2 of his trusted ministers to represent him in Obuasi. And so, Dr. Boamah and Dr. Murtala boarded the military Z-9 helicopter along with the rest of the delegation. What happened next is still hard to process. The aircraft went off radar shortly after departure. Hours passed. Worry turned to panic. Then, the grim confirmation: the helicopter had crashed and burst into flames. By the time first responders reached the scene, everything had been reduced to ash. There were no survivors. Across Ghana, the pain is raw and the questions are plenty. Could this have been prevented? Was the helicopter properly maintained? Were there security lapses? And most unnervingly, what if President Mahama had chosen to stick to the Obuasi event instead? Would the entire leadership of Ghana have been decapitated in one afternoon? In a country where political tragedies have often had lasting ripple effects, this one feels especially eerie. From Mahama's perspective, the weight must be crushing. Not only has he lost 2 close colleagues, men he trusted enough to send in his place, but he also now finds himself the lone survivor of what could easily have been a presidential assassination, even if unintentional. While no foul play has been suggested officially, the whispers are loud. Some Ghanaians are already speculating whether the crash was purely mechanical or if more sinister forces might be at play. The timing, the high-profile nature of the delegation, and the president's last-minute schedule change all feed into a growing storm of theories and rumors. From the people's perspective, the nation is reeling. Social media has erupted with tributes, sorrowful reflections, and not-so-quiet suspicions. Candlelight vigils are already being planned. Radio hosts and online commentators have flooded the airwaves with passionate reactions, many echoing the same sentiment. This was more than a crash. It was a national trauma narrowly avoided at the very top. From across Africa, condolences are pouring in. Presidents, ministers, and ordinary citizens alike are expressing shock at the scale of the loss. In a continent where aviation safety for public officials has long been an overlooked issue, could this be the wake-up call? Or will this simply be another tragedy mourned for a few days before it's buried under politics as usual? National tragedies are always hard to navigate, but this one cuts deeper. It's not just the scale of the loss. 8 lives, including 2 sitting ministers, wiped out in a matter of minutes. It's the haunting what-ifs, the almost president-on-board scenario, the fact that a change in venue saved the commander-in-chief. How do you even begin to process that? President Mohammed has declared 3 days of national mourning. Flags are flying at half-mast, but as the country prepares for state funerals and official investigations, this is a painful reminder of how fragile leadership, safety, and national stability can be in a single moment. This tragedy has carved deep scars into the heart of the nation, and the healing will be slow. But one thing is certain: Ghana will rise, but not unchanged. Your perspective matters. What do you make of Ghana's President John Mahama's narrow escape from death? And what do you make of the helicopter crash that claimed the lives of 2 ministers of state and 6 others? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments section below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the New Africa channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our informative future videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for watching.